Hello, and welcome to my next YouTube tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about how to change your Chromebook into a full-fledged development machine. Many people always ask, like, why would you buy a Chromebook? Can only do, run Chrome, and why do they make expensive Chromebooks? And I'll actually show you why they do that, because they're actually a lot more support in them now than ever. So there's something called Linux beta support. Now, if you come to Google and just Google Linux beta support Chromebooks and Google that, you'll find this website, or just go to this URL and you'll see all these Chromebooks support Linux beta. Now, mine is a 2015 Chromebook Pixel, so it's fairly old. That's what I'll be testing on today. So let's get started. You come down here, you click the clock, and you click the settings here, and you should get this window. The reason I don't do that is because it does reveal my email that's logged into this Chromebook. It's not a huge deal, but you'll get this window. If you come down here to About Chrome OS, I'm running version 83. There's three different three different channels you'll see here in a second. I'm running the dev one. Linux beta is what you want to see here. If you don't see this, you might have to change the channel you're on. So with my Chromebook, I had to change to the either the dev channel or the beta channel in order to get this Linux beta to show up. If I change it back to the stable channel, it will go away. So if you need to change the channel that you're on, you go to additional details and go to change channel, and then here are the three options. Be careful though, if you have anything on your Chromebook, it will wipe it off. So make sure you're storing all your data in Google Drive or somewhere else, not on this device. You can see I'm running the developer unstable here. It seems to work fine though. Okay, let's click this Linux beta and then click turn on, and then click next. And it'll ask you for a username, really doesn't matter, and then just click install, and we'll let this run. Okay, we don't need this page anymore, and I'm going to start describing a little bit what this does over here on the left. If you go to github.com/thechef17, you'll see a repo, a repository called Chrome Linux Bootstrap, and you can just type that in if you want. And basically, this script I have been working on for the last couple days to bootstrap your Chromebook into a development environment. And all you have to do is double click this command, right click, go to copy, and then you will paste this command into the terminal once it loads on the right here in a minute when this is done over here. Everything that is running in this script is basically contained in this Python script if you want to see what it's doing. I recommend looking at the script before you actually run it. So this is installed. This is a full-fledged Linux Debian container. If you do cat etc apt source list here, you'll see that it's a Debian machine. Yours might look a little different. If it does and you want to configure it, I just click these settings here, the three dots, settings. Chances are yours picked a dark or light theme, and I picked haze, and I just upped the font size a little bit for this tutorial. Okay, let's paste this command into here. And the first thing it's going to do is ask you for your email and your username. And all this is doing is configuring Git underneath. And if you've ever configured Git, it always wants to know an email address and a username, especially when you're pushing to like github.com and stuff. You can see it here actually on the left. That's how that's set. So this script will run for about 20 to 25 minutes depending on, the speed of your machine. It might be a lot faster if your machine's a lot newer. It may be a lot slower if it's a lot older. I'm not really sure the speed at which this runs on other machines other than the one I'm testing on. My experience has been always between about 20 and 25 minutes. If you ever want to see what this script is doing and more information, if you want to actually contribute to this, I recommend reading down here like some of these goals and how I'm doing testing. There's some other issues that I've ran into, and you can actually see the complete history of what I've done to these scripts over the last couple days. And I've iterated on it quite a bit, as you can see. And I'll keep adding stuff, and if people want to contribute, let me know. Okay, I'm going to time lapse this until the installation's done, and I'll see you then. Okay, so the script finished. It took exactly 1400 seconds, which is 23.3 minutes, which is right on average. I've seen anywhere between 20 and 25 minutes with this box. Okay, the first thing I recommend you do is actually close out of this window because come down here, right click on this and go to pin so you don't lose this, and then close this out. Because it installed so much stuff, I wanted to reload the terminal. You'll actually see it do some stuff here. The next time you load it, it will not do that. It's nice and clean. We'll go back to this window. And I want to go back into this repo that we were talking about. And you can run this script called check versions. And you'll see all the tools that I've installed. So this is Python. As of April 14th, this is Python 3.7.3, Ruby 2.7, Rails, Rust, all these all the way down. This is the NPM version. This is the nodejs version. It just doesn't say what it is. This is the Go version. So hopefully I would like to try to keep these up to date. The next thing I would do is go to this samples directory and then do code star here, and this will launch Visual Studio Code and load 2 scripts here. And there's a number of packages that it'll actually prompt you for. I just click install here. Install all here. And it'll start doing stuff there. And if you click this main.py, it'll ask you to install some other packages. I'll make this a little bit bigger. I would disable this data collection stuff, but for this tutorial I'm just going to close this out. This talks about you can change your Python interpreter if you know what that is. That's basically if you have different Python versions. And just click install, and as this is installing you'll see these out on the output, as well as the terminal is doing other pip installs right now. Okay, there's a couple Easter eggs I have that I left on here. So if you go here and you just do fortune, you can see it'll spit out a fortune. And if you do cow says, it'll have a cow that says that. And you can also do stuff like this. Just simple stuff. And we're just basically waiting for this to finish. And this is still going. The Python stuff's done, but we're still waiting for the golang stuff to finish over here. There's one last one that'll show you. Lots of people just type ls all the time, but lots of times you screw that up and you'll type sl. And instead of it screwing up, you'll actually get this train that goes across the screen, which is pretty funny. That's installed in the standard library of Debian's apt-get packages. Okay, this should almost be done. Yeah, it says all tools are successful here. Okay, you should be able to come over here now and click run and hit run without debugger, and this is the Python script, and it'll spit it out here, hello world from Python. And I'll do the same thing with the Go script here, run. And this one goes to, I believe, the debug console output. Yep. And it says hello from golang. So that's how you can run Visual Studio Code and write code in here, and it'll save it on your Chromebook. There's also some backup features here that I haven't even tested yet, but look very interesting. So maybe you can back up and restore this entire environment, which would be very beneficial if you screw it up. The other thing that I would show you that was installed is if you go to virtual machines here, or virtual envs, and go to VNV bin, and you want to source this virtual env, and it'll say venv3 here. And if you do like pip freeze, these are all Python packages that were installed that I've used over my career, basically at one point in time. So one of them I use all the time, and it's actually installed not in the virtual environment. I just wanted to demo that most of these packages, if you need something, like I always need the AWS CLI all the time to do stuff in Amazon. So I always install that. But anyway, there is a package called bpython that I use all the time to demo learning how to code. So this is an interactive terminal, and instead of it just being dumb and not knowing how to help you out, this one actually has code completion, which is really nice. And I haven't seen this in too many other things. So if I do import OS and then I do OS dot, it'll bring up all the commands. So if I want to do sys, and then it'll actually tell me the documentation. So that's actually a really good way to learn a module about about Python. And if you type it correctly, and you can use tab 2, and it'll tell you all about how to use subprocess.run here, which is actually really nice. I have not seen this with other languages. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If you want to contribute, I would look at the GitHub page again, and I can bring that back up. It's just github.com/the17/Chrome Linux Bootstrap. And at this time, I'm going to try to make this the first version of this script, and every version going forward, I'll try to make a branch. And if you want to contribute, also make a pull request for whatever you want. The only programming language that's not installed on here is PHP. I just don't deal with PHP much. The other thing I want to do soon is configure a bunch of Vim stuff, so I can just maybe use Vim at the command line instead of even using Visual Studio Code. I've programmed a lot of my career just using Vim, but I've flipped between Visual Studio Code and Vim a lot. Hope this video helps. If you have comments or improvements, or tell me how this helps you or it doesn't help you at all, down below. Thanks a lot for watching.